Alright, what's going on YouTube family? This is Astinosis here coming at you with another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. So for the first time I'm going to do sort of a, not really a reaction because I've already watched this about 1,000 times and I've definitely yeeted all over everything. But kind of gonna just analyze this kit. I mean, it is insane how amazing Aranea is. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get it started. And I'll just pause as we get to the descriptions and such. Alright, so we see here Dragoon Dive. No big surprise, she's a Dragoon. And it gives herself the Magitech armament buff. 6 hits with 150% overflow, and it automatically has plus 50% for crit damage. And then, on top of that, when inflicting break, she gets overclock. And then if you don't have this to 15 CP weapon, which why wouldn't you, then it's only for 2 turns. Now let's check out this buff here. So also without the abilities are a little bit different, or the buffs are different without the 15 CP, but again, if you don't have it, what is wrong with you? But 40% attack, 40% max brave, 20% speed, and then brave regen at 60% of her eye brave. That's what's up. And then on top of that, the overclock, and this was confirmed by Josh when he granted in this instance overclock is not there, but that's another 30% that we're going to see on top of it with the brave overflow. So more attack and more. So granted we don't see that just yet, but we will. I'm kind of jumping ahead because I'm too freaking excited. So basically she's going to have no problems capping. Look at that. This is not realized weapon, non-boosted. Alright, so now we have her upgraded version with the overclock active. So now we see 6 turns again, so it's going to keep refreshing her buff. That's great. 180% overflow. 180%. That is insane. Delays the target for 2 turns with 50% crit. Now, understandably, this does not grant overclock. I feel like if it did, that would be a little bit too fucking broken. Not that I would be complaining. Now, once again, cannot stress this enough. Confirmed by Josh in the main chord. That overclock adds that extra 30%. So we're talking 210% brave overflow. Now, obviously, she's going to cap out at 99,999. But how easily is she going to hit that? Mind you, we don't yet know what her passives look like. We also don't know her potencies just yet, but from what we can tell right now, it's pretty broken. Alright, so let's see this in action. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, I'm not going to bother pausing that because that's quick, 3-hit brave attack, that's cool. Low turn delay, love it. God, she's amazing. Alright, so now go ahead and pause this because I'm going to do my best not to get ahead of myself with the second part of the video. 2-hit brave plus single target HP. So it's essentially like Fang when she's under, I think it's Commando, but she has splash damage. And then when breaking, that's 30%. Now, also with that, so 120% overflow alone. With overclock, that becomes 150%. That is insane. Like, holy shit. She has by far the best HP plus in the game so far. That's basically Japan level awesome. I can't even imagine what she's going to get over there, because I imagine she'll be level 80 and have LD when Japan gets her. This is so busted. And this, again, this is without being realized. As you see at the bottom right, the EX weapon is maxed, but she's unrealized. And she's not boosted. Alright. So now her second ability. Vayne 2.0, basically, along with Null. But here's the kicker. She cancels the break, but she does only a single HP dump. Vayne's disadvantage is that he does not cap out on his brave. He re-breaks, yes, which then further delays the target, but he does not cap out on his Brave. So this here, 2 turns Vital Crusher, 6 hit group Brave, plus single target HP. 150% overflow, 50% crit, and 50% splash damage. I'm not even going to bother with that lack of 35 CP nonsense, because why waste the time? And then this version of the ability will grant overclock. So great. Now Vital Crusher. Brave damage received becomes critical. So this is another 50% boost. So essentially this is buffing the entire party's damage. While she seems to be at this stage, currently from what we know at this point in the video, she is a very selfish DPS, but she also helps the team deal more damage when Vital Crusher is active. And on top of that, once again, overclock. 30% attack, and that overflow counts towards that 150% ridiculousness. So 180% overflow with splash damage at 50%. That is nuts. Let's keep going. I can't even. Now the plus version. How more ridiculous can we get? 8? Okay. Everything else remains the same from what I can tell, except 80% splash damage. 180% overflow with 80% splash damage, and then it still also does the Vital Crusher. Holy shit. I can't even. Like, that's insane. And we haven't even gotten to the EX ability and the realization. Like, god damn. Oh gosh. Aranea, you insane woman. I love it. I love the sound that makes when you attack those skeleton dragons. It's great. I love it. It's funny because I was watching Rez's... okay, here we go. But yeah, before I was watching Rez and she said the same thing, I was like, good thing I'm not the only one liking silly things. Okay, here we go with the EX. And now mind you, this is the base version, and so we see recast normal. I am kind of curious because this does not show the limit breaks of just the EX itself, from what I can tell. Like, is it recast normal without the LB, or is it recast normal with? I'm leaning towards with being 3/3 LB. We'll see. So we see here it gives her 3 turns of high speed maneuver. Legit. We'll look at what it does later. 8 hit group Brave plus group HP attack. Once again, 50%, and god damn it, 100% HP damage. God damn. So remember, with overclock active, that is still, so that's 130% damage. So she's still going to overflow 30%. So 130% overflow and do total damage. Now high speed maneuver, more crit, and then holy goddamn, breaking the target grants a consecutive turn with no turn count. So she pushes herself in front on the next turn and then doesn't consume the turn count on that one. If I'm understanding correctly, the next turn, the follow-up turn, will not be turn count. Holy crap. Quistis, sorry girl, but no one wants to play with you anymore. Like, Jesus Christ, like, really? Holy crap. She's gonna be insane. I'm curious to see how long she lasts. And okay, and she grants the overclock. So we already know that the overclock can't be given by her boosted abilities. So if I feel like it's best to time the dropping of the overclock to when you can use that. Okay, C65. What do we got here? And of course, by that I mean, like, eventually the overclock is going to drop, but it seems to me like you'd want it to drop at that point, because that way you're conserving your skill 1 and skill 2. Yeah, it kind of sucks because it's a less damage from that, but at the same time, you're losing, okay, a little bit of damage, big whoop, but again, you're conserving abilities, and I feel like that is more important. Alright, so we got 4 turns overclock. Alright, just and 10% attack. Simple enough, easy enough. Get yourself started for some yeet. Alright, now here we go. So a plus version of her EX, as if she wasn't busted enough already. What do we got? So this is during overclock. Once again, you're getting the high speed maneuver buff for 3 turns. Cool, cool. Cool, cool, cool. 8 hit brave. I think it was 6 earlier? Whatever, anyway. Crit damage. Now, mind you, this is still not showing us the realization, so... alright. Okay. Wait. You know what? I'm not even worried about this. It's still ridiculous. I think it's more hits. Yeah, that sounds right. Oh, the big one. Here's the big one. This one extends overclock by 2 turns. So if you can time her shit, if you can time her abilities, like whether you're cycling through skill 1, skill 2, the busted ass HP plus, and time it to where you can bust out the air superiority plus, then boom, you're conserving abilities. Like, that's lit. That is super lit. And on top of that, now that I think about it, so extends it by 2 turns, so it starts at 4. So you could potentially get it at 5. Like if you were to immediately open up with your EX. So like say if you started whatever fight, you did the set overclock and then went into this. So you're basically giving yourself a little bit of more longevity there and setting yourself up for some strong HP++ or HP+, whatever you want to call it. But holy shit. I feel breathless. Like, goddamn. And still, remember, this is not boosted. Okay, now we got realized. Alright, let's look at this. Let's break it down. Alright, so at base, once realized, so air superiority overflow at 120% with a moderate damage brave boost. Keep in mind, we still don't yet know her potencies, but as we can still see, she's hitting fucking hard. Now, also bear in mind that that's still not accounting for the overclock. So right there, that's 150% with overclock active. And once again, can't stress it enough, that's with overclock active. You're not getting that 30% without it. Okay? Alright, limit break 1. Okay, standard stats, 60% brave and then a 60% attack. That's lit. We still need to know like what her base stats look like. Alright, limit break 2. At quest start, 6 turns Magitech armament and 3 turns high speed maneuver. God. Alright, so right at the beginning of the fight with LB 2 out of 3, she's still busted. Because she has these bad boys down here. I'm not going to read them out again because I shouldn't have to, but jeez. Can you imagine? Alright, let's look at limit break 3. Air superiority brave overflow plus 130%. Okay, so now here's what we're seeing here. 150% plus that 30%. Now, can you see where I'm going with this? It's 100% damage to all targets at 180%. I'm pretty sure we don't yet have anybody of that potency. That is ridiculous. And then so more potency for her moderate brave damage up. Wait. Okay, so the base version of the ability is also boosted by 10% for brave. So okay, that's cool. Oh no, I'm sorry. Increases brave by 10% of HP damage dealt. So that means it's basically like a little battery for her. Like it gives her back some brave, if I'm understanding correctly. And goddamn, we now have a boosted version of her brave plus and HP plus. Oh my god. Now her sphere. Now, for those of you that don't know, I've been very afraid to use spheres because I'm like, I don't want to make a mistake. And I think with Aranea, I will actually finally use spheres for the first time. Now, I'm not so sure how I feel about this sphere. When inflicting break, I brave plus 2%, max brave plus 2%, up to 5 times. I think I would need to see her regeneration in action before making this finalized decision. There are of course, some spheres that when you break, it's flat 10%. But of course, that's not iBrave. So she might actually really benefit from this. I'm curious to see how much. Because remember, she's unbreaking targets with that skill too. So that's legit. So yeah, I'm curious to see how her regen is before making the decision of putting this sphere in her. I feel like the Vanille one is ideal because I believe that's an E sphere, and it was confirmed in a tweet, not in this video, in a tweet that she's AAE, and I believe is also in her main chord. So here we go. Let's keep going. Jabbering enough. There it is, this consecutive turn. Alright, HP plus. How more busted can we be? 3 hit. So I believe it was 2 hits earlier. 3 hit group brave, plus single target HP attack, 120% overflow, 20% splash. So remember, include your overclock. So that is 150% overflow. And then if inflicting break, Jesus, I'm getting so excited I can't even fucking read properly. If inflicting break or attacking enemy afflicted with break, splash damage HP increased to 50%. Guys, girls, whatever you self-identify as, this is an HP plus attack that not only overflows to 150%, again, while overclock is active, but it splashes 50% of the damage to all other targets. That is busted. Like, god damn. I am curious to see what the potencies look like for this. I honestly don't know how people get that information, but even then, like, with the right buffs, auras and shit, that is insane. That is quite literally the most busted, broken HP plus attack in global currently. Like, that's legit Japan levels. Like, god damn. So that right there, he's just I can't even. It just boosts her longevity so much. And then, okay, so now 5 hits with an even higher turn. So basically, if you need to prevent her from getting broken, then booyah. All right, so where's the differences here? Okay, so this is what they were talking about earlier. So 150%. Now, mind, this is the base version of the attack. Requires the EX+33, sorry. 150% overflow. That's not including the overclock 30%. It's still total damage, and then it's also going to refund, looks like 10% of Brave, if I'm understanding correctly. Oh. I think that what this is showing us is what the abilities look like after it's realized. I really like how they did this too. Like, they didn't do this with Beatrix last year, so I really appreciate this. All right, so yeah, the Bane change here is 150%. So 180% once again with overclock. Refunds Brave, and again still extends overclock. Like, Jesus Christ, Aranea, I cannot wait to do this. Excuse me. And on that note, I've only ever done one pool video. And that was Leon. Y'all saw the damage that occurred there. I wanted to cry so bad, having to pity on camera. But I am once again prepped this time around. I have the gems to pity if I need to. I'm hoping to luck sack. God, Aranea, you amazing creature. So yeah, I'm considering doing a pool video because I've been kind of trying to do live streams as often as I can, but I'm trying to find a good balance of keeping everything split. So I think instead of pulling on a stream, I might do a pool video and then live stream a little bit of the content, and then instead of doing chaos on stream, make that video. So it's going to be a busy day for me tomorrow night. And on top of that, I need to make sure that I farm a bunch of the artifact tokens to prepare for her release, because I want to basically make her as busted as possible. Now, keep this in mind, if you're still watching right now, we don't yet know what her passes look like. So it's going to be hard to determine until we see everything what she needs. But if I were a betting man, and I am in this case, I'm going to bet that she's going to want her 108 and CS 50, assuming, of course, that her Crystal Strength 50 passive is attack and max brave, or has anything to do with max brave, because she clearly overflows a fuckload, and we want to get her to that damage cap. So, all right, everyone, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is a first for me. I've never done one of these before. So if you got any feedback for me in my delivery, by all means, I'm open. And without, aside from that, good luck on your pools. I hope we can all luck sack us some Aranea. So peace out. And you will be seeing my Aranea, if you have me, as a support. Take her easy.